Hello and welcome to Chez Bistro. Tonight's entree is pan-seared shrimp with creme Armagnac and warmed tomatoes. This is a dish that I kind of concocted cuisine du moment, right? So basically it's what I had on hand to make a meal. And I had some shrimp from a meal I'd made the other night, some leftovers, not cooked, still raw. Needed to get cooked, right? Got to get the shrimp. So it starts with the shrimp. And I said, well, what else can I do? I got some tomatoes. And then I said, I realized I had some creme fraiche left over. So I used the creme fraiche. To make the cream sauce a little bit more exciting, I decided to add some Armagnac, which is like cognac. And I had some shallots. So tonight's meal is very simple entree. We're going to pan-sear the shrimp. We're going to saute some shallots. We're going to reduce the Armagnac, add some creme fraiche, and finish the sauce with some tomatoes for like the last minute or so, just so they get warm. Not cooked, just warm. Put the shrimp back in and ready to serve. Just plate it up. All right, let's start preparing our food. So it always starts with the shrimp, the protein. I buy my shrimp already peeled and deveined. I find that it's a lot faster that way. And I've peeled and deveined thousands of shrimp. So it's easier to start with the peeled and deveined shrimp. Nice smooth shallot, not too dry, looks good. I like the vine-ripe tomatoes. We core and quarter those. I do like to use a small knife when I'm peeling and dicing the shallots. I find that it's easier to do it that way than with a big unwieldy knife, primarily because I like to dice it really small. So I start by inserting the knife into and going across in very, very small intervals so that I create a nice small dice. And I keep doing that all the way across the shallot until I get through to the end. And then the trick is to get the sides. And this is where it gets a little hard. You kind of have to pull the knife across the shallot along the cutting board there. And if you can get two, it depends on the thickness of the shallot when you're doing that. But you can try and get twice in there. And then we just cut across it. And it creates a really small dice. A really nice, delicate looking, this is the way they prep the shallots, kind of a dice. And I take my time doing this just because I guess I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. Because you don't want that. But there's the diced shallot. All right, to core your tomato, you pull the stem off using your thumb as a guide. Stick the knife point in and just go back and forth a little bit till you get the core out. And that's all you have to do. Coring the tomatoes is really easy. Always use a sharp knife when cutting tomatoes. And they just fall apart like that. All right, we're ready to prep. We're finished our prep. We're ready to cook. So let's get cooking. All right, to sear the shrimp, we want to start the flame, and I want it on a medium high. I don't want it too high. So I want to heat the pan a little bit. Then I'm going to add some butter. Pretty simple. I like to have all of the ingredients in place before I start, because that way, when I'm doing the cooking, I'm not worrying about, did I prep everything? Okay, we get the butter nice and soft. Add a little bit of olive oil to the pan, just a little. You're gonna have a little butter and olive oil. Love that flavor combination when cooking food. You take the shrimps, make sure that's quite good, and you should hear some sizzle when it gets in there. Right, a little sizzle. They're gonna cook pretty fast. And you're going to want to do this fairly quickly, maybe just a couple minutes on each side. And you don't have to do 25 shrimps in a small pan like this. You can do just a handful. Gotta have the tongs. So not only should you have your food in place, but you should have all the instruments you need too. See, now they're cooking up nice and good. You want to get them a little opaque, and then you're going to give them one turn. While that's happening, give them a little salt and pepper. Just a little. You don't have to be a lot, just enough to give it some flavor. A couple cranks of each. All right, yeah, see, they're starting to turn a little golden brown. See that? See that? Nice and golden brown on the edge there. You just want to make sure you're not overcooking them. Like shrimp, like scallops, you got to watch it like a hawk, right? You can't, because once they turn to rubber, they're rubber. There's nothing you can do about it. I'll turn down the heat a little bit. And then I'm going to reserve these, and I'll do the cream sauce. All right, so the shrimp's going to get reserved. I'm going to have a little plate for that. Put the shrimp on the plate. You see how nicely it got a little nice little brownish to them. They're perfectly cooked all the way through. All right. Now we're going to add the creme, the Armagnac, because we're going to reduce that first. Mise en place again, right? Now you should measure this. I'm just going to put it on a little bit. You know, should measure it. And we don't want to burn the house down, but we do like catching it on fire a little bit, because that caramelizes it, you know, it cooks the sugar really well. All right, so I'm going to reduce that a little bit. We've got some nice milk solids in there. That's going to give us some cream, some really rich flavors. And then we just a dollop of this, about a tablespoon or so. And you're just going to mix that up. Mix it up nice. And we forgot to put the shallots in. So what do you do when you don't put your shallots in the sauce? Well, shallots are very delicate. You can just put it in and you cook it a little bit longer with the cream. Yeah, no big deal. Nobody's gonna know. It's what happens. Besides, it looks pretty, it smells pretty, it tastes pretty. It doesn't matter what order you put it in. So we're going to reduce this a little bit more. Going to try and get the cream, get that cream kind of, you know, thicker. So you want to reduce it a little bit, probably about a minute and a half. Give it a good stir. And then we're going to add the tomatoes in. Now I cut them an extra cut. I know I only quartered them, but I realized I really needed to get them down into eighths because the wedges will cook a lot faster that way. If I did they were just too big. You know, sometimes you just have to kind of make corrections in course, you know, while you're in the process. So you're going to put, you know, if you want to have 3 slices of tomato per plate and a couple shrimps per plate, you're going to, you know, you want to have the right ratio. You're just going to let that cook up. And then you're going to flip them. You're not going to let them cook too long because you're really not trying to overcook the tomato. You're not trying to get the tomato in the sauce. You want the sauce to stand on its own. You're just trying to get the tomatoes warmed up a little bit. Okay. It's coming along nicely. Get them on both sides. And then we'll add the cooked shrimp back in, and we'll allow it to finish. Get those shrimps, get that sauce all over that shrimp. And then we plate it. It's pretty easy to plate. Couple shrimp, couple tomatoes, and pour some sauce on it. So I'm just going to reuse the plate. There you have it. Pan-seared shrimp, creme Armagnac, warm tomatoes. Bon appetit.